Before we get into today's episode, I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge you. You here right now who's watching or listening, because whenever I record these episodes, I'm always addressing my camera and my mic, and I never know who's going to be on the other side of it. So if you are, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And on that note, let's get into the episode. Welcome to another episode of Chosen, the podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to helping you choose yourself in all the different areas of your lives. I am here to be your hype man, to be your hype gal, just to motivate you and inspire you to reconnect with you, because I feel like a lot of us have grown extremely disconnected from our true self, from our essence, and I am just here to remind you of the importance of the relationship with you, because I want you to have the most exciting, beautiful, fulfilling, peaceful life you can have. I want you to live to your full potential. I want you to explore all the different sides of you, to tap into your true power. And what I found was the best way to do that, how I personally achieved that in my life, was by choosing myself in all the different areas, prioritizing my well-being, my health, and everything. So I am here to share with you what I've learned and all the good stuff. My name is Made. If you're new here, welcome. I think today is going to be a lot of fun. Before we get into it, I want us to circle back on the last episode and the last assignment, because a couple weeks ago, the episode was all about breaking free from our own limits and all the restrictions we put on ourselves. And I had suggested for the assignment that you guys take the first step toward a goal or a dream that you've been wanting to achieve for so long, but maybe you've never really given yourself the opportunity to, for a few different reasons, fear maybe, or just, we always make excuses as to why we can't start something. So I want to know, did you do it? Did you take a first step? How did it go? What did you do? If you didn't, it's okay and no problem. This is the beauty of life. We always have an opportunity to try again, to start fresh, to do something different. As long as we're alive and breathing, we have the opportunity to change and do better. So I want to share with you guys a story, because if you haven't taken that first step, maybe it'll motivate you. And if you have, maybe it'll inspire you to keep going. So, okay. I don't know if you remember from that episode, I had talked about the fact that I started making music in my 30s, that I felt this, like, I had been feeling for a really long time, this sort of urge inside, like this sort of musical side that I really wanted to explore, but I just was scared for a really long time, and I was doubting myself, and I didn't think I was good enough, and I just was very inexperienced. I was so green that I was like, I don't know that I could, and where would I begin? I don't even know how to write a song, and this and that. I was making excuses for myself all the time. But in my early 30s, I had an opportunity, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna teach myself. I'm just gonna commit, and I'm really gonna go for it. And not in the hopes that I would have the biggest musical career. That was never the intent. The intent was truly to just explore something that I felt within myself I really wanted to do, like my soul was calling for that. And I had been ignoring it for a really long time. So when I got the opportunity, I was like, this is my time, this is my chance to actually look into what that calling is inside, and we'll see where it leads. So fast forward to a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I had an audition because I'm an actor, and in the audition I had to sing. And when I saw that I had to tape a song, it was a Christmas song chosen by casting or the production. Anyways, when I saw that I had to tape a song with my audition, I was so excited, because I was like, hell yeah, I am ready for this. I am so prepared. I felt really good, and I felt really confident. And then I released that episode. A couple of days after releasing that episode, I got a message from my agent who was telling me that I booked the role. So, all that to say, first of all, yay. Second of all that to say that when you feel a calling inside, when you feel like there's something that you want to try, or you want to, I don't know, you feel the calling for it, listen. Because no matter what, it will open doors. I don't care what kind of doors, a door will open if you feel it in your soul, if you feel it in your heart, in your mind, in your body, in your whole being. Trust me, start. Take that first step, take 2 steps, 10 steps, I don't care. Start the process, because 100% a door or many doors will open, even if it doesn't look exactly like what you think you want it to look like. It doesn't matter. It will bring opportunities. So I'm sharing this with you just to inspire you to actually go for the things that you want, because you never know. Listen, if I hadn't started music and singing and all of that in my 30s, I would have gotten that audition and I would have been like, oh shit, yeah, I think I'm gonna turn this one down because I'm not a singer. Or I would have done it and I would have felt very ill prepared, and I probably would have done a horrible job and not booked it. Do you know what I mean? So because a few years ago I decided to give myself that chance, when this opportunity came around, I was like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. And look, I'm gonna be in a Christmas movie. So yeah, I just wanted to say that before we jump into today's topic. Today we're gonna talk about something that is very important in my opinion. I want us to talk about it in an open, sort of non-judgmental way, because it's such a huge part of our lives. And when we think of choosing ourselves and having a healthy relationship with self and with everything that's in our lives, I think it's important to look into that. I think the episode is going to be fun today. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like fun like that, but it's going to be, I don't know, it's gonna be something. I think it's gonna be beneficial. So we're gonna talk about social media and how social media impacts our lives, and how we can reframe our relationship with social media and make it work for us. How we can truly have a healthy relationship with social media, and how it can benefit us and the world around us, and how we can use it in a positive way, okay? Because man, listen, we live in a time when social media is it's just part of life now. It's everywhere. It's very hard to escape. Believe me, I have tried for many years to not be on social media, to not, and like with the field I'm in, being an actor and everything, it's really hard not to have it. Sometimes productions demand it. Like that's how I first got into social media, because I had booked a role and we had meetings with the PR team, and they were like, we need all your social media handles. And I was like, I don't have that. And they were like, well, you will after this meeting. And I was like, oh, damn. So I was really late to the social media game. And like, I'm old, right? So I'm from a time when we didn't have social media growing up, and it felt really good. There was such a nice element of just connection, like real connection with human beings. Like we weren't afraid, or it wasn't weird to talk to strangers, or to like go up to someone and start a conversation and all of that. Like there was just an element of more like real life togetherness that we don't really have anymore, because it's like social media has created this sort of unspoken or spoken competition amongst all of us. So there's always this sort of underlying tone of like we're competing against each other no matter where we go. And so it's like now we don't even really like look at each other or acknowledge each other when we're out and about. Like if you're walking down the street and you cross paths with a stranger, like how often do you actually like look at each other and smile? Like I try to do that a lot, and like 9 times out of 10 I don't get a smile back. And it's because like we have these devices that like allow us to completely disconnect from these types of interactions. We just look down at our phones. Like I made a rule for myself that whenever I'm walking down the street, especially if I see someone coming my way, I put my phone down. Like I never ever look down, because I'm just like, I don't want to be that disconnected from the world. And that's unfortunately what social media can do. Like, it's crazy because it was created to sort of help people connect with one another. But since its creation, people have felt the most alone and disconnected. So it has like the complete reverse effect. And it's crazy because like we have a tendency to think of like online life as its own thing, and then real life, right? It's like we have real life and then we have online life. But that's not true. There aren't two different lives. There's only one life, and it's real life. And social media life is impacting negatively our real life. And it's really important to understand that it's like every time we're engaging with these apps, we're missing out or giving up a part of our real life and our real connection to life right here, right now. And life is so precious. Like, so I don't want to just be like negative about social media, because I truly do know that there are benefits to social media. I know people have built amazing careers on social media. People have met their soulmates on social media. You can build a sense of community on social media. You can learn, you can get inspired. So there's not only negative things. I think it's our usage of it that will define if we have a positive experience or a negative experience. And I think it's super important to remember also what these platforms are. These platforms are companies. They are businesses owned by people that get richer every time we use them. I was looking into this. Instagram only makes around $200 million a day from advertising. A day. So the more we use these apps, the more we engage with these ads, the more time we spend, or the more we're buying from the links and the sponsored posts and all of that, like the more money they make, right? So it is designed to keep us addicted. It is designed to keep us scrolling. It benefits them if we get addicted to these little devices and these platforms and spend hours and hours and hours and hours on it, right? So I truly believe that there's a way that it can be beneficial for both, for us and for them. But for that to happen, we truly have to be honest about our relationship with social media, and we have to just have better boundaries with social media. Because if you look at it like it's a true addiction. I was reading that the average person looks at their phones about like over 100 times a day. If that's not an addiction, I don't know what is. And I include myself in that. Sometimes I grab my phone and I don't even have a notification. There's nothing going on my phone. It's just like, it feels like this extension of myself, and I feel like I have to look at it. I feel like I have to touch it and just see, like, is there something happening in the last 5 minutes? No? Okay, I'm good. But it's weird because it's like this ingrained habit in my being now. It's like I do it unconsciously, and then every time I grab my phone and I have nothing to do on my phone, I'm like, oh, why am I doing that? Like, it's such an addiction. And the thing with addictions is like the people that create the products, the substances we get addicted to, they know what they're doing. They know it's addictive. Like people that created cigarettes, they know that shit kills you. But they also know that the people that are smoking them or buying them are supposed to be adults, right? They put this age restriction and they go, well, we're not forcing them to smoke. If they choose to smoke, it's on them. So it's similar with social media, because it's like these apps are created purposely to keep us coming back and scrolling and to be addicted. But they go like, we're not forcing them to use the apps. We're just putting them out there, and they can do whatever they want with it. They can use it however they see fit. So it's really important for us as consumers, or as creators even, to have like proper boundaries and to know how to use them to our advantage, because otherwise these apps end up using us, right? So let's talk about like in what ways it affects us negatively And then we'll talk about like some of the things we can do to have a better relationship with social media, okay? So if we look at how it impacts us on a mental level, on a mental or emotional level, we all know this, the freaking comparison game is so toxic, is so damaging. And it's like, we do it subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever the word you want to use, we do it because it's like human nature. We are constantly looking at other people and other people's lives and what they have and what they're doing. So it's very hard not to have a feeling inside of like, oh, why don't I have that? Oh, I wish I looked more like this. Oh, that seems nice. How come I can't have that or live a life like that? Like, it's not that we necessarily enjoy comparing ourselves. It's not that we want to do that, but because we are constantly just staring and looking and being invested into what other people are doing, strangers that we don't even know, but we're just looking at their lives and what they have and what they own and how they live. And a part of us can't help but think like, fuck, I wish I had a better car then. I wish I had a bigger house. I want that kitchen island too. I want a pristine white kitchen with the kitchen island and all of that. And I want that walk-in closet. Like, and so what starts happening when we start doing the comparison game is that we start feeling like we're not enough. We start feeling like we're lacking. And that's very, very damaging for the self. It's very damaging for our confidence, our self-worth, because we think like, okay, like, am I not worthy of all these things? Like, how come, like, why did I get so unlucky? Or how come I am not able to have that? Is there something wrong with me? And it's like, you know, we've heard that before, but we have to remember that people on social media post like the good shit. Like, they post the like highlights of their lives. We don't know if these people are happy. We don't know what is really going on behind closed doors. So to do the comparison game with something that is like purposely just showing the good of life is a very, very damaging game for mental and emotional health. And also, like, we have to remember that our worth is not based on our social media following. It's not based on how much likes, how many likes we get, how many comments or engagement or all of that. And it's because social media and the number of followers have become such a currency in life. When we don't have that, those high numbers, we might start to feel like, fuck, like, I'm not, like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not enough of so many things? And it's like, when we were saying earlier that there is no such thing as online life in real life, like, that's what I mean. There is only real life. And in real life, you are always worthy. You are always beautiful. You are always like worth loving and worth having everything you desire. You cannot base your self-worth on your social media following, on the numbers of followers you have. Like, it's such a crazy, dangerous game to start doing that to yourself, because like, there's always going to be someone who has like more followers than you or more this, and people freaking buy followers. Is that what it has come down to? Now we're buying them just for what? Because it's going to give us more credibility. It's going to give us like more status if we have a bigger number. So you could see someone on one day and think nothing of that person because you're like, oh, that person only has 200 followers. Like, I think nothing of them. And then fast forward 2 weeks later, that person has just bought thousands and thousands of followers. And now you might all of a sudden see that person differently. You might go like, oh, damn, like, I'm gonna follow that person. She must be doing something right. Look at the amount of followers she has or he has. Meanwhile, that person has not changed a damn thing about themselves. They just spent a little money. Like, this is the world we live in. So it's extremely important to remember to never compare with what you see on social media. Even the way we look, like, we alter ourselves all the time now. It's like, now the accomplishment is when we don't. When we post a photo or a video where we don't have any filters or we didn't do any edits, it, like, we feel the need to mention it. We're like, hashtag no filter. Hashtag like blah, blah, not all natural. Hashtag I woke up like this. Like, You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy that now this is what is worth mentioning, because the norm has become to use filters, to alter our photos. And so the damage of that is that we don't appreciate our true natural beauty anymore. And that's sad. That is so freaking sad. Listen, we all try to alter our faces. We even go as far as getting like actual work done in real life so that we can look better on these apps. But I have never in my life seen someone in real life that looked like what they look like on social media, ever. That doesn't exist, because everything we see has been photoshopped and altered, and there's all these crazy apps now you can use to edit your photos. You can literally do anything. You can have your eyes closer together, further apart. You can change the shape of your nose. You can do this, you can do that. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And it's like, why are we all doing that? So if we're all gonna alter our faces, why not all of us just accept what we look like naturally and show that off? Like, it's so crazy. And like, it's damaging to a point. I'm gonna share something with you that I did recently. I posted a video and on TikTok, and I wanted to talk about like this mascara I'm using because I really like it, and it's a great freaking mascara, right? So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do a little video, and I was like, I'm not gonna use the beauty filter because I really want people to see like the actual like effect, the result of the mascara, right? And I posted it and I was like, damn, I look good. Like, I thought I looked really good and I was really confident. And then I posted it and I think it got 3 likes, and I was one of the likes. But like, I thought about taking it down. A part of me was like, fuck, do I not look good? Like, maybe I don't look as good as I thought I did. Do people like just don't like me? Do people think I'm like ugly or whatever? Am I not like good looking enough? And I started like second guessing myself and doubting my own beauty and my own worth and all of that, to the point where I wanted to take it down. Like, how sad is that? Have you ever done that? Have you ever thought of like taking something down because the engagement wasn't what you thought it would be? But here's the thing, if you did, like if you thought about taking it down, like how did you feel when you first posted it? You felt good, right? Like the reason why you posted it to begin with was because you were like, damn, I like that photo, I look good, or I like that video, I look good. And then because of the opinion or non-opinion or just non-engagement or engagement of strangers, that makes you change how you feel about yourself. And that is crazy. And I'm talking to myself too. I'm like, girl, you're crazy. Like, you cannot have a different opinion of yourself because strangers engage with you in a certain way or don't engage at all. Like, that's no. So I forced myself to leave that video there because I was like, nah, man, I posted it because I liked it. I don't care what so-and-so thinks or if they like it or not. And also the algorithm is like all over the place. So we literally just cannot base anything on what is going on social media. So it's really important to remember that, because since the arrival of social media, the decline in mental health is crazy. Like, mental illness is at its all-time high. The rate of young girls and young women dying by suicide has gone up like crazy in the last few years. And it's like, it's truly hurting people in real life. Like, people really take that home and really like let whatever is going on social media define them. And that's so sad. These are apps like from an electronic device. We can't let that impact our mental health like that. That is like, no. We are in control here, not these apps. Like, it kills me that so many people like are affected negatively. And if we're talking about like online bullying, like there was a time before when we didn't have these apps and these devices where the bullying had to be done in person. So when you were home, you were, for the most part, unless the bullying was happening at home, but for the most part, you were safe. You were like out of the danger zone, right? But with these apps, what happens is that bullying follows you anywhere. Bullying is in your pockets. It's there 24/7. You can't escape it. And that is so, so incredibly damaging, especially for teenagers, especially for teenage girls. So we really, really have to like rework that relationship. So that's on a mental and emotional level. Then if we look into like on a physical level, our brains are not designed to be constantly stimulated like that. Like we are overly stimulated. Our eyes, our brains are just taking in too many images, colors, lights. And I believe that because social media is a fairly recent thing, having smartphones is a fairly recent thing in the grand like picture of life and humanity, I think we're not fully aware of how damaging these are for our physical health. I think we will find out down the road how truly bad it was for us. But we have to be very, very careful because like I just said, our brains are not designed to take in that much stimulation on a daily basis. Like, why are we tired all the time? Because we're constantly being stimulated. We're constantly looking at visuals and images and things, and our brain's having to process all of these things that it's looking at all the time. And our eyes get tired from all this light and everything. And it's just like, whoa, it's too much. Listen, I have a friend of mine who recently got diagnosed with an eye tumor. Thank goodness it's benign. It's not cancerous, but she has to be very careful. An eye tumor due to screens. And her doctor's prescription is to not look at screens for a while. Like, isn't that crazy? We're doing things to our health and we're not even fully comprehending the true impact it has or it's gonna have on a long term. So we have to be very, very, very careful. So that is on a physical level. Now, let's talk about time. Listen, time is the most valuable currency in life. Time is something that once you spend it or once you waste it, once it's gone, it's gone. It's not coming back. And we have a limited amount of time here on earth living this experience. And we spend so much time on these apps, yo, it's crazy. It's hours and hours. Some of us, we spend hours a day on them. Like, how many times have you grabbed your phone and thought to yourself, I'm just gonna scroll for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes to kill. Like, I'm not like super tired yet. Let me just scroll for 10 minutes. And next thing you know, 2 hours later, you're still scrolling. That is valuable time you just wasted. And yes, like I said earlier, like there's not only bad things on social media. You can learn, you can get inspired, you can get motivated. But let's be real. The bulk of it is not going to enhance your life. It's just not. It's just not. So you're spending a lot of your precious time, a lot of your most valuable currency on something that will never give anything back to you that is as valuable. Like, that's nuts. Like, we really have to take that into consideration because, listen, I know you have goals. I know you have ambitions, you have dreams, there's things you want to do, you want to learn, you want to create. And the time you're spending on these apps is taking time away from you doing all of these things. And it's crazy because we like to fool ourselves thinking, no, like, you know, I get something out of this. Like, I'm gonna look into like, you know, things that I could benefit from and whatever. Like we're really good at like fooling ourselves that we're getting something out of these apps. We're not like that. Not after spending 3 hours. Like, notice how you feel after spending a few hours on social media. Do you feel good? I personally, like, if I go into a rabbit hole and I just like scroll for a while, I put my phone down after, like, say, if I do that for, say, an hour, I put my phone down and I'm like, I feel yucky. I feel like my energy is not where it needs to be. I just don't feel good. And I'm like, yeah, like, why would I engage with something, anything that doesn't enhance my life or make me feel good? So I really had to find ways to have like healthy boundaries with social media because I was like, I really had to be honest with myself, and I was like, I don't like how I feel half the time after being on social media. And it's not a great usage of my time. And so I think like my personal Instagram, I haven't been on it in over 10 months. I created an Instagram for the podcast because I wanted us to have a place where we can connect outside of when I'm doing the episode. And every time I go on it, I'm like, I don't like it. And I started a TikTok like less than a year ago, and I like videos. So I like posting videos, but I try not to spend too much time like scrolling and looking at other people's videos. And I do sometimes, but when I do, that's the thing, I get into this never-ending rabbit hole. And some shit is like really entertaining. Some things are funny, some things are, so I see how we get like addicted and we just keep scrolling. So it's really up to us to have like such great boundaries and rules in place to help us, because like we said earlier, it's designed to make us addictive. So we can't be blamed for being addicted to something that was designed for that purpose, right? But what we can do is to make it work for us and to really like be conscious of our usage and tailor it so that it works for us and benefits us. So let's look into some of the ways we can do that. Number one, I'm gonna say is take breaks. Take breaks. Do like one day a week that you don't use social media, or do like an hour less a day, or go on a social media detox, do a month without social media, or a week. Trust me, you're not gonna miss anything. Like we all feel like, oh my God, like if I don't look at like what's going on TikTok and Instagram for a week, like what is gonna be life without that? I didn't look at my Instagram for like 10 months and it was the most beautiful, peaceful time of my life. I don't care what I missed. I don't think I missed anything. I think the important things I found out anyways, but it just really brought me back to being present in my real life, which is what is important, because I feel like a lot of the precious moments of our lives are now diluted, or not like we're not even fully present and like engage in these moments, because they all have become like social media show off situation, right? Like, and some of these moments we're gonna have only once in our lifetime, like if I don't know, like proposal, I don't know, like giving birth or a gender reveal, or like all sorts of things like that. And it's like now we make the focus of these events like how it can look the best for social media, how we can make it as shiny and as pretty so it stands out on social media, instead of focusing on truly being present and truly being in the moment with our people and with like the situation, what is going on, to have like these memories. Because there was a time when we used to capture these moments, but it would be for us, like it would be so that one day we could look back and look at these photos or these videos and maybe share them with our kids or whatever, and just reminisce and be nostalgic. But it didn't matter if the balloons all matched. It didn't matter if it didn't look freaking perfect, right? So take breaks, like go back to your real life, engage in a real way with the people around you, with the things you like to do. Like not everything has to be a social media post, right? So I think that would be like the first thing. Then another thing we can do is like really tailor your feed to like in a way that can really benefit you and benefit your growth and help you, right? So unfollow all the accounts that whenever you look at them, you feel shitty about yourself after looking at them. Like the accounts where you're going to do the comparison game, the account that are reminding you of your lack or the things that you don't have. Unfollow all of that and start following the accounts that feature the things that like inspire you or make you a better you or motivate you and all of that. Like really tailor your feed so that it's like healthy for you, and try and like find your people, try to find your tribe, try to find a sense of community, right? And so there's that. And then also I think another thing we can do is to set an intention. Why are you on social media? What are you trying to get out of your time there? Be intentional. I think like that's such a key word in my life right now. intention, being intentional. That is super important for me. Everything I do, I try to be intentional about it. So when I go on social media, I try to be intentional. It doesn't always work. I get sucked in sometimes, but for the most part, like if I feel like I'm removed from my intention, I'm like, it's time for me to get off the app. So your intention could be just to be entertained and to have a good laugh. So you could follow like accounts that like post like pranks and that sort of things, because these are funny sometimes. Maybe your intention is to learn more about health and wellness, so follow these types of accounts. Maybe your intention is to get more fit, so follow workout accounts and like things like that, right? Just try to be more intentional with your use so that it makes sense when you go on it. It's not a waste of time, right? And I think the other thing too is like, we have such a great opportunity with social media to truly like lift each other up, to truly send love and positivity to each other, because the same way negativity spreads and is contagious, so is positivity. And we have this beautiful freaking platform where we can all connect from like different places in the world, different cultures and all of that, and we could use it to spread more good and more positivity, and like to really like cheer people on and like send good vibes and good intentions and help people promote their businesses or what they're doing. Like we could use it in such a beautiful way where we would truly help each other out, but instead we use it to divide, to tear each other apart, to put people down, to ridicule people, to be mean. Like, I don't understand the purpose behind that. It kills me when I see so much negativity. I'm like, why? If you're gonna be negative, just shut the fuck up. Like, literally shut the fuck up. Like, don't say anything at all. Listen, not everything I see on social media I like or I agree with. But if I don't like it or if I don't agree, I just move on. I just don't engage. Purposely spreading negativity is so toxic and so damaging for the world, but we have the opportunity to like do the opposite. We have the opportunity to like send someone some love, even a stranger you don't know, like someone is going through something or someone is sharing about something, like applaud them, congratulate them, cheer them. Let's use it to just spread more good. Like, love always wins. The positivity will triumph if we make it like outgrow the shitty negativity and all the darkness on social media. Like, let the fucking light win, man. Like, we have this beautiful platform, these beautiful platforms where we can truly like be reminded of our unity. We are one. We are no different. We all want the same things. We all want to be loved. We all want to be seen. We all want to be understood. Like, there's no need for this crazy competition and contest and like all of that. So that's like, I think, one of my favorite ways to like use social media. I love to just, all the accounts I follow, like I'll just send some positive vibes and just drop a heart somewhere or something. Like, yeah. And then I think the other thing I want to mention is fact check everything. Don't take what you see on social media for freaking facts and for like the be all and end all of everything. No. Everything you see on social media, go on Google it, read about it. Don't let social media dictate how you feel about the world, how you feel about events, how you feel about other people, other cultures, how you feel about yourself. Don't let social media dictate like your mind and your opinions and all of that. That is so dangerous. Please do your due diligence, be a grown-up, be an adult, and remind yourself of what this is. This is just an app. This is just a technology. It's not gonna overrule you. No. So if you see things, please like just go double check, even if it's like in the wellness world. Whenever, I'm super into wellness, but every time I like hear about this new trend or this new supplement or this new thing, I always take it to like Google and I do some more research and I go read from reputable sources to make sure before I buy these things or before I start doing that. I'm like, wait, even the shit I say, Google it, look into it. Like, don't take what I say for cash. Like, listen, we're all a bunch of human beings here, and some people have good intentions and some people don't. So it's really important to just like, yeah, check your shit, man. So these are the ways. And before I let you go, I want to suggest something for this week. I think this week we should take a little social media break. So I'm going to suggest you either take one day off from social media this week, or if you don't want to take a full day off because maybe you work on social media or yeah, maybe it's part of your job or something, then try to spend an hour less every day on social media for a week and see how it feels. I just want you to start being aware of your relationship. I want you to start asking yourself the right questions. How do I feel after spending so many hours on these apps? Do I feel good? Do I don't feel good? Like, do I feel like it brings something to my life? Is my time well spent? Like, just get curious about your usage of it and how you could like truly tailor it for you with some of the things we said. And I think a good way to start, an easy way to start that is by just taking a little break. I'm certainly going to do that. So on that note, I want to say again, thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you soon for another episode of Chosen, the podcast.